Alright, hello everyone, my name is Korpen and today we are going to kick off a new series once again on my channel. But this is a series I've been itching to get working on for a long time, and it's the Tank Tactics School. And it's aimed for you who might be a beginner in the game, who doesn't really have a good grasp of tank tactics. And I will produce a series of short videos where you'll get tips, and I'll share my knowledge about how to play in War Thunder, the kind of knowledge I've gathered throughout my many thousands of games in the game, and as well as in other tank simulator and tank arcade games. So we're gonna start off by looking at some basic tactics about how to flank the enemy and how to exploit that, and how important it is to keep a keen eye out on your flank at all times, just to see what the enemy is doing, because if you don't, it might cost you dearly. And then last but not least, we'll see just how important it is to play this game unfairly. And I'm not talking about using exploits in the game or something like that. I'm talking about tank tactics and how, if you are numerically superior, you'll most likely win a battle. And it's a tank saying that if you let the enemy have a fair fight, you're doing something wrong. And we're gonna have a look at that right now. And in this video, we are going to use the M18 Hellcat, because this is a fast tank and it's a very good tank for just showing off this kind of strategy on how to flank the enemy. So here we go. So we are in Berlin, and here's me in my M18 Hellcat. And this is actually a replay that I chose to record post game. And yeah, in the simulator battles mode, the mode that I'm playing at the moment in this replay, you can't see anything else than the view from the driver's hatch, or what the commander sees, or what the gunner sees. So I'm actually limited to those three men in the tank. So that is why we are looking at this from a third person perspective. And here you can see we made the decision right away, my team, to go up together along one of the flanks, and to try to get around the main enemy force, who we suspected would be moving up straight on to the center part of the map. So here's me and a platoon mate in an M18 Hellcat, and we moved up on the right flank. And while moving up, we've been totally concealed behind cover, so the enemy doesn't know we're coming. And we spot an enemy right here. That's an Tiger 1H. My friend shoots, and then I wait for a shot here. There's an artillery barrage incoming, so I can't see anything, but I spot him eventually, so I just take a snapshot. And since this tank doesn't really have any armor at all, I want to get out of there as fast as I can. And here you can see my whole team, or more or less half of the team, to be honest, have linked up on our flank, and in front of us we have 3 Tigers. Hold up, I'll bring up the HUD so you'll see them. There they are, marked in red up ahead. And they're all looking at one of our teammates who is assaulting the center of the town. And what they're not doing is that they're not looking around between the shots, and that is something that will greatly enhance your survival in realistic and simulator battles. So they fail to see our 4 tanks sitting on their flank, having clean shots at the side of their turrets. And we can just basically pick them off very quickly by placing some clean shots to their weak spots, which are in most cases on 99% of all tanks located at the side of the turret and the hull and the behind of the tank, really. So while we were picking off the tanks one by one, we have had this building in between our position and the tiger up here. And now, obviously, even though the tiger is positioned with the thickest armor facing us, there is little he can do against 3 of us. So we easily get around him and can put a few shots to his weak sides, and that's the game over for him. And we went on to win the game with very few losses, and we had a good game played out very nicely in a tactical way. So, what have we learned from this little short video? Well, the number 1 lesson in almost any tank, except for the really heavy, slow, heavy tanks in this game, would be to try to flank the enemy, preferably going up on the enemy's side. Either side doesn't matter really, just as long as you get up on the side of the enemy tanks and you get nice shots at the side of the tank's hull. That's the lower part, or the upper part of the tank, the turret. And it doesn't matter which side, and if you can, or if you get the possibility to do so, I would even go so far that you can actually also go all the way around the enemy tank and get a nice shot at the back of the turret or at the back of the tank where the engine sits. And if you hit that, you will most likely start a fire in the engine, and you'll have to fire a few shots to knock out the tank, but it's doable if you alternate between hitting the engine and then aiming for the back of the turret, or the turret, any part of the turret. Maybe not the front, but the side and the back of the turret will do just fine. The second lesson of this video would be to always, in between shots or when you're moving and you're not running into something or someone, try to look at your sides or your rear and have a look around you. Try to spot enemy tanks that might be trying to move up on your weaker sides of your tank's armor. Especially if you're in a heavy tank, it really pays off to have a look at your flanks at all times. Whenever you have the chance to do so, do it. It has saved my life in this game. I don't think if I lie if I say 100 times, something like that. It will save your life, period. So check your flanks in between shots or whenever you have the chance to do so. And don't forget that. The last bit of advice will be to, if you have the chance to do so, try to fight the enemy with a numerical advantage. That means that you have more tanks on your side than the enemy has defending against you. So what that does is that not only does it make it less likely that the enemy will be pointing his gun at you, it also gives you a massive fire advantage, and you and your teammates will be able to put a lot more hurt on the enemies or the enemy within the time where the enemy has the chance to answer the fire and shoot one time. I mean, if you are 4 tanks firing at one tank simultaneously or in rapid succession, you're focusing your fire on one tank, that tank will take 4 shots for every shot that it fires, if it has the same reload rate. Now, it might have a longer reload rate than you have, so it might be the case that you guys will be able to put, I don't know, 8 shots at the enemy tank before it has the chance to answer the fire once it's fired. So yeah, cannot underestimate fighting in superior number. It always pays off. And if you can't knock out the tank while firing at the front of it, just go around the flanks and fire at the sides of it or at the rear. Then for sure you will damage that tank and you will win that fight while taking the fewest losses possible. So that's been it for me today. I hope you learned something from this video and found it helpful. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another episode of Tank School. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys around.